He probably won't make the All-Star game either.
I heard he got hurt, but I didn't hear what.
They broke his jaw. And they said the swelling was so bad, they can't tell how long it's been.
How bad it is?
Right. I don't know what swelling we have to do with CTs and stuff like that.
Who knows? They can't wear them shut, I know that, till the swelling goes down.
He went right to the, I mean, as soon as he got hit, he went right to the locker room.
Keep the panel we have.
They were all the same.
The only problem with watching on TV, because we do it a lot, this and the commissioners,
It's the volume, the sound.
sound is horrible.
We have a hard time hearing it.
Because people either talk too fast or they mumble or.
If you watch it and they ask me questions, I can lie because we can't hear it. It's all good.
Yeah, but mine started like that, I don't think so. That's definitely be a flood. And he said that he had to take it slow.
Oh, really?
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's
How'd you get that?
She had a couple of questions.
Is it that goes on 30? Sandy's brother.
Oh.
Easy can.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, when you pay your 18 or 18 a year, all you get is Fridays and Saturday nights.
Hope so.
If you want to stay Thursday. night.
No, we want to say a third night.
And then they have the deluxe one. That's 250. We can stay this for it's
That's their seasonal,
Yeah.
so it's not 7 days a week.
Nope.
There's like three prices.
The price
Two
ranges.
nights, 3 nights, or like a living.
I don't know. Yeah, like a living one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what, camp on 30?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like.
with all the traffic.
Not like there's a lake. They have a little.
It's a nice campground when you go
They have a
in.
nice pool, fishing pond, park.
But see, it's everything is in as you see it on the up front.
That one in Hannah,
No,
the closest one, the furthest one.
it's, you know, the furthest one, when you're on 30.
It's over by.
But it is Hannah.
It is Hannah.
Yeah, that's the one right now.
It's one with
Yeah.
little pond.
Yeah, it used to be easy go.
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah.
Easy camp.
The weather held out. It's not bad here.
The other one's last week.
And that just got sold.
Yeah, we had quite a bit, but it rained so much today. And a lot of.
Guy told me people came in. It wasn't even up for sale.
Yeah.
He came in talking about buying it. And they talked, he said he never heard of it.
Gotta love it
The
there.
title company came back and said, it's sold. It was, I made him an offer, but refused. Corporation.
I gotta think about it.
So now he opened a gun shop up there.
What did we open that?
I guess it's full trade.
It was. It's called. Sundown?
Oh, yeah, gun shop. Yeah, he opened that. He sold the campground, he opened a gun shop.
Okay, yeah.
Is that still open?
What?
Gun down.
He just opened, it. He just.
Just
bought it.
reopened.
I saw a lot of photos there.
The guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But last resort, he used to own last resort. Corporation just come in and bought it right off the ball.
Is that the one they're putting all the new sites in? I see.
No, that's easy.
That's easy, that's the one with the three.
I see they all have.
Last resort is, the one on the lake tracks by,
It's close to the, it's up by Hannah.
Yeah, oh, that was Hannah, okay.
Why, you interested in free stuff? They said, oh, they should come in and just bought it. Wasn't even said.
You can help, because they discuss, and they left once, all of a sudden,
You got a notice from the title. Who's got downstairs?
you're selling it, Tracy. Like,
He said, worked out great for me, so they made me an offer. I couldn't reach it.
just so you know.
But he had to accept the offer. He did.
Yeah, it was- But they were inquiring into the title.
He just didn't hear from us for so long. He was like,
Thought it was.
Then they come back to him and he said he's not. Then they came back and said.
Well, they found out from the title company that they were interested,
Right.
and then they put me down there.
Brady, how you doing?
I'm really well. How are you doing?
Hanging in there.
So it wasn't even up for sale.
Yes.
I was on my way.
What are they?
Oh, all right now.
They're gonna keep it the same.
Is it rough
Keep the
start?
campground.
Oh, the corporation.
Yeah. So we got
Right.
Oh, I got it all.
That's been a few hours.
Yeah, so now.
This week.
I
used to say
Wow.
that.
It looks like it does.
By the time you
Just takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when DNR was big one to get.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like it.
So
Maybe he was doing something for, Jeff. Cause that's like, the one on 30, they're saying they, easy camp, that's, they don't. Call me 2 months later.
Yeah.
Go whenever you want.
Especially the late.
2 days a week.
$2001.
So it's 2 nights, 3 nights, but you leave your camper there.
Yeah. The permanent one, I don't know, but you know what, what's the point? Hickory Hills used to be the same way. I would stay there 2 continuous weeks. You had 1 2-week window you could have for vacation. I couldn't stay anymore except.
Like a time share.
Yeah,
It's gonna be here.
You couldn't do a seasonal like.
it's a seasonal, which are only allowed
2 weeks continuous.
in one time.
So you had to leave for a day and come back?
Well, it was,
Well, back in the 3.
I don't even remember, it's been so long now.
They never really enforced.
Because you're allowed 2 weeks vacation and then the rest is just weekend. But the rules there changed as well. Did you lure him back with a new lawnmower?
No, that's Bev's job.
A what?
That's Bev's job.
So you lured her to stay with the lawnmower. Okay, see, on the wheel of fortune, I get something nice.
That's just, we just have to sign it. If everybody's gonna stay the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd bring that in case anybody wanted to see it. I don't think you have to do anything, right? Just re-sign it. Right, but if everybody agrees to stay the same. If anybody else shows up.
Well, I know Carl's not gonna be here.
I'm telling that
too. I don't know about Rick's.
General.
You see, they got a dumpster outside the marina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hadn't heard until I saw that in the news thing that they had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know that until.
We heard it a while.
Yeah, I knew there was like every other
There.
individual.
That works. As long as I'm sure.
When they
Yeah,
got
just give them a little, you know,
Because
every
of-
3 or 4 months. Give them a little.
They would have cost them twice the price to do.
But I heard that works. There is no environmental problem.
Mike, where do you live? Did you come from Cedar
I
Rapids?
didn't.
Because they have above ground fuel tank.
That's what
I live.
And when those were put in,
15 years.
Fishburne took care of all the other fuel tanks that were there. I don't know if they take care of.
Like
They got him out.
That's not
Whatever.
a lot of.
Yeah.
Who's else we got?
I don't know if that was just an excuse for them or what.
So are you gonna go back home tonight?
Because we had heard that, are you like,
Yeah,
they
you
wanted to sell the other building to make enough money to fix up that building.
That's what I heard that too.
Right.
Now, he says, what I.
Basically now instead of driving.
They tear down the old mechanics.
Family, I drive here for.
Tearing that down.
That'd be easy.
That's all.
Right.
No kids in the car.
Right.
He stored a couple boats in Indianapolis, like I said. Mine was one of them, that's why I know.
Well, I don't know, to me, the first thing you do.
I got mine up for sale too, by the way, if you.
Mary does too, her old one.
Well, he's got a ski boat. Mary's got a fun.
Mary got a fun, but I remember like-
First thing I do, I think I decided I was gonna go put a roof on each, so you could work.
Oh, no, not that building, I'm thinking of the one on the side, that's where my boat was.
He's got a bunch of the old shed type buildings right behind him.
That's where they used to run the.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right, they had a fire, wood stove in there.
So the text mechanics anyway.
Well, the mechanics building's the one that's going, that little.
No,
block.
as long as this is going, I don't have to.
At least that was the last quarter we had. I'm anxious to see what they have on the water. Was the apartments there?
Piers and that channel.
It was a good channel there.
Right.
The furthest building along the shore and then go out the channel. That's how we used to pull the ski.
Right.
Because Forrest dug that channel, Forrest Fishes.
Well, she had to get permits every couple of years to.
To dredge it out.
Dredge out for it.
I don't know how that's
Oh, I was
working.
gonna say,
I don't know how that's working. Who was that? Because when Bass Lake Water Sports was there. Behind King Creek.
Well, it's white construction. White construction is doing all the building. I think they own it.
The apartment.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, welcome everyone.
Start making your meetings a little longer.
Brand new year.
Everybody have a chance to look at the minutes online?
Yep. Yep.
Any corrections?
Nope.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes as produced.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And we had Mr. Reese here from Troyer.
Yeah.
He's gonna join us tonight and give us a presentation on the grant we got. Mr. Reese, you wanna come on up?
Sure. Good over.
Sure, wherever you're comfortable.
All right. Well, thanks for having me here. My name is Mike Reese. I'm a landscape architecture, or leader of landscape architecture and planning team at Troy Group. And with working in Starke County for probably a decade now, from the original 5-year master plan, and some other efforts, and now trying to implement some of the stuff that we first did in that plan, with the improvements at Bass Lake Beach and Campground. About a year ago, we did the master plan, trying to figure out what we want to do with the facility. Not just the beach house, but the site, the restrooms, campground area, and then try to figure out what improvements would fit well into the DNR Land and Water Conservation Fund grant. There's a scoring system with that prioritizes certain types of improvements. So we wanted to kind of get the things that were most desired by the county, but that would also score us well to get that funding. So thankfully we were successful in getting that last summer, and now we're working on the design for the implementation of that project. It includes improvements to the beach house itself, mostly focused on accessibility and function, getting electrical and plumbing up to code, improving the restrooms, updating those spaces, also improvements to the other restroom building at the beach and campground, playground, accessibility and parking in there, some upgrades to the tent camping sites, and just some other site upgrades. So right now we are working with the state agencies. As part of this process, we have to get approval from DNR, from IDEM, and we have everything from them. The one that we're still working on is the state Historic Preservation Office. Because the beach house is considered a contributing historical structure, they really want to review everything that we're doing to the beach house to make sure it's in compliance with their kind of historical.
Do they want to
preservation
try to keep
guidelines.
it as original as possible? Is that kind of a,
Yes, mainly especially the exterior look.
right?
So, if we're replacing doors and windows, that it kind of matches that character. There was a pretty big renovation in the early seventies. Sorry, I should introduce this, Krista Hurley King, landscape architect with me at Troy Group.
Her and I have to go out and do all the cold work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's the project manager for this project now with the implementation. So she will also be here to answer questions. But currently, working on that, kind of refining the design of the beach house. And then we need to submit that to DHPA, Historic Preservation Office, to get their approval. And then we can kind of move forward to finalizing the documents. That review will take probably a couple of months. And then once they approve it, DNR has to send to the National Fish and Wildlife for the federal approval, or the National Park System. It's usually a formality, but it takes a while. So we're looking at best case would be June for the federal approval. And at that point, we could go get bids for the construction.
Is that the final approval from government
Yeah,
agencies?
yeah. So we can do
But
all,
don't hold us to June.
yes.
No, wait, this-
We're on their timeline.
Yeah, because the last 3 years, LWCF projects that we've worked on, they've been delayed 3 to 6 months in getting that federal approval.
More like
Just
fall.
because turnover at state agencies and just the amount of projects that are being reviewed right now, it seems like the schedule is running long. So best case scenario, we could do bids in June and start construction, early fall, late summer. But definitely would not count on it based on what we've seen in the last few years.
Is it possible to get like a written outline of what all the next steps are through that process so that we can communicate that out to the public as well?
Yeah, I can give like a written summary of kind of the scope and timeline, or at least the anticipated timeline. And then, if there's a timeline that, as far as bidding and construction, that the county would like to see. I mean, ideally, I would think we could start late summer and early fall and finish hopefully before peak
Well, I
season
think
the
it's
following year would be ideal.
as much information as we can get on when
Where?
potential funding would be needed so that everyone's prepared and nothing is a surprise to everybody. I'm sure the county,
What are you looking at me?
no, I'm just saying, I'm sure that the county will be funding that, that matching part of it is gonna want to
Yeah.
know when they would have to have those funds available.
Exactly. And the way that works is, once you get, did you finalize the state agreement with DNR? The agreement between the county and the state? I don't know.
Yes, I believe
I
so.
think, yeah, okay. So if you have that, then you can submit for reimbursement. Right now, it would just be the design fees and survey and environmental stuff. And then once it would go to construction, the contractor would submit payment applications typically every month. And then the county would pay those and then submit for reimbursement to DNR. So you would need the funds to pay those and then you get reimbursed.
Yes,
So it is
because I've
important
made
to,
Your first payment already out of the county.
county, and then we can submit for.
And that's part of the match already, it comes out of that, right?
Correct. Yes, you get 50 for whatever bill you submit, you get 50% back reimbursement up to that 1.15 million.
So funds from the grant itself don't start to get apportioned until after that June approval, or how does that work?
The design funds can be reimbursed now to the county.
Okay,
So whenever we submit our monthly invoices, those can get submitted to
County matching
DNR,
funds.
and then DNR would send 50% of that back to the county.
Right.
And then once construction starts, which would be the bulk of the cost of the project, the contractor would do a similar process.
Are we gonna be able to see these plans before they're submitted?
Yep,
Good.
yeah. So right now, we had the preliminary plans from the master plan, which I can leave a copy with you, for people to look at, but it is being updated some, one to meet the DHPA recommendations, and then just kind of going through some things with Tracy and the group.
And something else, you mentioned that there's a scoring system for these things. Will you include that so that we know what the priorities are as far as the scoring goes?
Yeah,
We'd like to know that too.
sure. The scoring system is used by DNR to award the grants to the communities. So the communities that score the highest would get those grants. So, but one thing that you have to do is what we promised we would do in the application, especially
to
if it's
make sure
something
the score
that,
doesn't change.
yeah, couldn't have said in the application, oh, we're putting in this thing and that scored us points, and then now we're not going to do it. So
Right.
that's the important thing with the application. We do have some flexibility to update the scope. We just have to make our promises that we made at the end.
Well, see, that is part of the problem that I see right now. We don't know what you've planned. We have no idea what you got.
We presented that at one of the meetings.
No. I'm saying I want a map. I want to see just exactly what you're talking about.
We gave those out
Right, but
like last year when we went through that.
when they did award the grant, did they give you the scores at that point as to what we had? So we don't know how they scored it?
We know roughly what we scored with the application. We kind of say
What we think.
what we
scored.
think we deserve.
Right.
So we had adjusted. So for this scoring criteria, we would say, we think we have this because of,
And
this
that was
design.
part of our application?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't
You
know
have a
what.
copy of that
Yes.
for us.
Yep,
Right.
and you should, if you don't have a PDF of that, Tracy, I can send one, but, we don't have access to like what other communities scored, but we have
Yeah,
everything
we don't
for
need that.
Starke County. And then. Was anything else that
Yeah, so
you wanna add?
we've already submitted to the DHPA and they've already come back to us with comments.
And DHPA for.
That's the historic preservation group with the state. And so currently, we were out last week with the architect taking measurements and taking a look at the building with Tracy. And more of an in-depth scope based on a reality now, because last year was just the master plan.
Right.
So, and then in discussing her what some of the program elements are really needed and maybe not needed, because we're trying to hone in on this budget. And make sure that we can accommodate all of your needs and what the state's requiring also. It's not a lot that the state's requiring, so they were interested in, like I said, like Mike mentioned, the exterior. So siding repairs, we had a blanket statement in the master plan that said replace all the windows. Well, we don't need to replace all the windows on a closer inspection. So we might be able to, where we're taking out a door, or taking out a window and putting in a door, we can take that good window and put it in a bad window. So we need to just repair the existing windows. And as Mike stated, the renovation in the 70s, there used to be floor to ceiling windows in the building. And there was an overhead door on the north side. So it's already been drastically renovated. So these things aren't historically original. So we're trying to accommodate the historic group, but if it's gonna be too much, then we're gonna go back to them and let them know. Here's the plans, because we have the plans that career group did in the 70s. So we have those hand-drawn plans, and that's how we've kind of deciphered what was original and what wasn't. So we're kind of doing this forensic analysis right now. And then our goal is the architects are working on that plan and those comment rebuttals to the DHPA. And we're planning on having that sent back to them at the end of this week. And then you'll be copied on it as well. Tracy will get a copy of it when we resubmit that. So that's where we're at right now. And we are planning to be 100% ready with a bid set. For June, so that when the state or the federal comes back, we're ready to hit the ground running. So there shouldn't be any kind of a delay at that point, because we have plenty of time to get that finished before they're done with their review. So.
And your group's gonna act as a general.
We will act as the representative for the county to work with a contractor. So we would provide, answer questions for the bidders, help you review the bids, and then, basically, help review the contractor's work to make sure it's in compliance with the plans during that, construction period, making site visits, every.
To make sure the
to-
bidders are actually carrying through on. what
Yeah,
they-
so we're trying to, act as your representative, but we wouldn't be the general contractor. The general contractors would be bidding on this, this summer, and they.
But you'd probably work with the general contractor to make sure that they. complete
Yes,
everything
and we will,
appropriately.
a lot of the contractors we've worked with before on other projects. So, we can try to give them give as many people the plans as we can, try to get as many bids as we can.
And then we'll put together a recommendation to you based on those bids for you then to review and vote on and determine which contract.
That's why I think that having
Yeah.
that outline of what all the
Yes.
steps are going forward, that's why it'd be great
And
for
we
us to see
will
all
want
that.
to meet with you during the design phase, like at the end of SDs, the schematic design part of the project. We would want to meet with you to get your approval of those, and then we can move forward to the next phase. And then, so we would want to meet with you to review that.
Yeah, I believe we had that meeting over with all the plans and in the other building. It's a special meeting we had. And we had all of the
And that's where we kind of
original
Yeah,
plans.
we
drill
can have
down
one
the design
We can have whatever.
for the application.
Right.
And now, mainly it's the DHPA. That we need to satisfy their requirements, and then. See how that impacts the overall cost, and then we come back and kind of present those updated plans to you.
How quickly does that DHP, do they get back to, I mean, is that a long
They-
process or is that?
About a month is
Okay.
what they typically say for a review period, so if we send, end of this week,
Yeah.
early to mid-February, we'll hear back, hopefully with a final approval. And then, at kind of end of February to March, we could do a review meeting with you guys to
Mhm.
make sure you're on board with the latest and greatest, and then we can get those finished up.
Yeah, we don't want to keep you in the dark at all, so whatever you need from us, don't be afraid to reach out and let us know. Right, yeah.
So I mean, I guess we'll just have to keep an idea of what our, because meeting schedule is, and then if there is any meetings with you all, we'd have to do it. One or two, somebody from this board representing, so that we don't have a quorum at that time too, that if we did. I mean,
Yeah, we can just have a meeting over in my office over there with.
Right, as long as there's,
Yeah.
three of us at there,
Yeah.
So.
Mhm.
If someone has a representative of the board and somebody that.
And as far as like coordination with the contractor, even though Mike lives in Michigan, I live in LaPorte. So our goal would probably be down here once a week to meet with the contractor for updates, maybe even more during the height of construction. So we will be very actively involved.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. I don't know what you're doing. Will the parks still be operating when you're doing all this work?
Yes, they would be.
Maybe
not
like
all
the
of it.
campground bathrooms might have to be off season, but like I think the beach house, we could just rope it all off.
Yeah, so people could still use the beach, the parking lot.
But it's not open now the way it is,
We closed down the restrooms while those are being worked on, and then could open them back up. So it'd be that's something we want to have in the pre-bid meeting with the bidding contractors. Make sure it's clear to them, the schedule and kind of the, construction management of, all right, you need to leave this open as long as possible, or you can shut all of this down. So they're aware kind of the requirements they need to work around. But we want to.
The nice part about it is so much of this is interior. So even though we might not get a late start till of this year, all through winter, they can do all of those restroom upgrades and work inside.
Yeah, because they're shut down anyways.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the
So hopefully
footprints of,
it doesn't
or
disrupt.
the footprints of the restrooms and the beach house are gonna stay the same.
Stay the
They're not
same,
gonna be
yeah.
altered.
We're gonna add accessible parking spaces and an accessible walk to the beach house. And then we're upgrading the walks to the bathrooms. I know the one at the campground doesn't need it, because that has been recently done with those updated handicap camping sites. But, and then we're updating the playground at the beach and the playground at the campground as well. So those are the main outdoor improvements. Everything else is pretty much building.
The playground at the beach gonna be where it is now?
That's what we're looking at right now. I haven't been told that it should be somewhere else, so that's kind of what we're designing for. Did you have any thoughts on that?
No, I was just wondering where it was.
Okay, yeah.
I'm trying to visualize where you could put
Yeah.
it beside that spot.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and then we'll put down proper safety surface and it's accessible and that sort of thing. So now the playground will be up to date and accessible.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So when you get a contractor, you guys gonna be overseeing the contractor, or does the board have to?
So we would be like the representative that would kind of be the county's point of contact, so we would deal with the contractor, and then if there's questions they have, we would coordinate that, probably with Tracy. And then, but we would kind of act as that representative for the county, for Tracy.
So you suggest the contractors to us, and what happens, or?
So it'll be publicly bid, so it has to be, in the paper, advertised twice, so anyone can bid that meets the requirements. But we will also send the plans to contractors that we've worked with before, in hopes of getting, as many good bids as possible. And then once those bids are in, they'll be opened at a public meeting, whether it's park board or council. And then we would review those bids and it would be awarded to the lowest responsible bidder. So if lowest bidder would get it unless there's something in their bid that they didn't meet one of the requirements, or someone has a legitimate issue with them that they couldn't perform the work successfully. Then one other thing that we can do is look to identify some alternates. So we can have a base bid, and then there could be some alternates that we could accept or not, depending on where that price comes in compared to our budget. So that's one thing we try to do, just to give some flexibility in awarding the bid.
So does it seem reasonable that for you guys to come back next month and kind of give us this outline, and then what the next steps are, and then what kind of availability you need from this board to
Sure.
and Tracy to make sure that this moves
Or
forward?
is
Yeah,
next
I'll
month
send-
too soon?
Well,
or-
I'll send you a schedule and scope update. And that would kind of outline everything.
Right.
And then depending where we are and what we've heard from DHPA.
Right.
Krista can come next month or the following month to kind of give an update on the updated design and process. So we haven't heard back from DHPA yet. There might not be much of an update.
Right.
But you can definitely do that kind of a as needed thing to make sure the board's informed. But we'll also be able to send info to Tracy that she can share with everyone.
I have a lot of family in Knox, so I'm down here quite a bit. My dad's side came from Knox, so.
All right.
And apparently my husband knows Carl Swihart really well.
Oh, really?
Is he here?
No,
Okay.
he's ill.
They're both umpires, softball umpires together.
Oh, okay,
So I didn't know that.
very good. Anybody else have a question? Yes.
Yeah, for the information of the board, Rick Reiser's on that committee. And I'm on that committee also. So Rick Reiser has that information that some of them are asking about, they didn't get it in. I'm not sure what happens on the board, but Rick Reiser's on that committee. And I know he has that information, because I have some of it too.
Very good.
Yeah, if you just send it to me, then
get
I'll
you-
just make sure I
I'll
get it
Make
too.
sure everybody gets it.
Right.
Yep, definitely can do
Yeah,
that.
because I know it was distributed, but it's been a while.
It's
so.
been almost a year, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last winter.
Well, if I come next month, I can have something to put up on the boards for people to look at. Because like I said, we are deep into nine right now, trying to figure out this budget.
Right.
So I can give you an update on where the budget's landed and what scope items. May have been adjusted or materialized or something. I can give you updates on those kinds of things, so.
Very good. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you for coming and we appreciate it.
Yep,
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to working with you.
Have a safe trip back to Michigan.
Thank you.
The next thing I have is lawnmower purchase.
Well, I would like to buy a lawnmower,
Probably a good idea. What
like
kind of lawnmower?
like a real big one, so like 60-inch.
Looked at.
I have, but I want to get bids or estimates, you know, maybe 2 or 3 estimates. on them.
60 inch is gonna drive the price quite high.
Yeah, but we have 42 and it's worthless. I'm paying more in,
I'm thinking more along the lines of.
I'm paying more in part-time help. You know, because it takes so long to do it, but, and we have the money and I don't want to get used. I don't want to get junk. I would like, if we have the money, get something that's good. And take care of it, you know, and have something that's real, you know, that's not. That we
Have
can
you been
use.
looking at any?
I'm looking at Toros, yes,
Okay,
and,
those are good.
So, would we keep the existing one, I guess?
yeah,
We
for
still
the
keep-
little
smaller
areas,
areas?
you know, for the trimming, little areas and stuff.
Little one will go
It's-
between the post.
It's kind of been beat to
Nice.
death, through the past year or two that.
You're talking about a zero turn then,
Correct,
okay?
So you're just looking to get estimates now so that we can look at it.
right, so next meeting, I can have 3 different places and bids, but I just wanna,
Good idea.
you know, to let everybody know that I'm on it.
Okay,
Well, and maybe to get different prices for the different sizes, so we. can get a
Right,
Better
yeah.
idea of the overall scope.
Can I ask a question?
sure.
Are you looking for one with suspension then that would drive?
No,
No,
that's a lot more money.
I know it is.
I've looked into it, but no, she's fine with it, so.
Okay.
My mower's fine with it, Mowy.
Okay. All right, yeah, bring us some estimates. And we'll
I will do that for the
see
next
what we can
meeting.
do. Okay. I guess we gotta have bids for the garage roof.
Well, I'm assuming, it should be a simple job, you know, it's just a garage, but. And there's like this much mold and mildew on it and. It's
Is the
leaking.
current garage, is it metal or is it?
It's not
fiberglass?
metal,
Okay.
I would like to look for metal.
Yeah.
Because that would be a one-time,
Be much better.
my lifetime anyway, but it is leaking in the back. And I just think that's something I can, you know, get some bids on. I don't even know what it runs for something like that, but. If we're gonna have, you know, the equipment and all of that in there, we need to get it replaced.
Okay.
So I just wanted you guys to, you know,
Yeah, get us some bids.
that I'll be, checking that out too, and I don't know. You know, if that's something we can do this spring, summer yet, or if I should wait. Closer to see where the money situation is, we'll just have to I'll see what it comes in at and we'll just go from there.
Very good.
Just trying to keep you informed.
Yeah. Okay. Superintendent's report.
First of all, the commissioners have provided a new vehicle, well, a different vehicle for us. For out at the campground, it was a previous highway garage truck. Because the one I have is, well, it's getting close to 208,000 miles, it still runs. It did have some issues. I took it home. I had it for, you know, one day and had warning lights and stuff on, so I asked Rachel to have the highway department go back through it and, you know, change the oil. I wanted to make sure that, I want to start with a clean slate. You know, so that I know when to change the oil next and when to, you know, all of those kind of things. So I do not have it back yet, but I told them no hurry, just, they've got other things to do right now with the weather and stuff, so whenever they can get to it, it's not a problem.
Right, so is there any additional cost to
No, the commissioners took care of that.
No, no,
It will,
you guys have to pay to keep it up.
keep it up after?
Yeah.
Tires, the whole thing.
right.
And what's the year and mileage of
It's
the
a
new one?
2014 and it's got like 136,000,
Okay.
which is 71,000 less than what I'm
We're there
driving.
now.
God,
Okay,
as long as it checked out, we're checking again, Spencer brought it back. We got a couple different guys on, make sure, like you said, you got decent vehicles started.
Sounds great.
thank you.
And they have also offered, I mean, it'll be their vehicles, but, and they've also offered us, what is it, Don?
Or
Polaris.
yeah,
It's like a 4-wheeler type
like a side to side.
UTV,
The
whatever.
surveyor's
It's-
got it right now, but it sets more than it is. So like, ask Tracy, she can use it for now until we find her golf cart or another. Side by side or whatever.
It's got a bed on the
Yeah,
back. with-
Which that won't
You can
stay.
use that to drive around your golf cart.
That's a golf cart. You can pick up the trash cans with it.
No, I use my golf cart and wagon.
But she can use it, yeah.
Yeah, I could,
Yeah.
but I just use mine. Does it have a hitch on it?
Yep.
Oh, then I can use that one.
Yeah, that'd be totally up to Tracy.
But that's another thing, with the garage, if we get a new mower and that, we
More
want to
equipment in it.
put all of that
Make sure
stuff in there, which, I mean, it is in there now, but.
Yeah.
So it's not leaking and stuff in there.
We can get that in time, just wait on the weather. Take it out.
Yeah, this spring, I'm not gonna use it now anyway, so, we did get reimbursed for the lift station and the grant money that we spent out of our budget last year.
Towards.
Not sure where all this is going because my budget isn't, the appropriations aren't in all of their little buckets yet. They're waiting for the treasurer to close out their end before they, show, and that's not done yet to put all of it. So, hopefully by next meeting, I will
Present that.
present you guys with
Do you know how much we're gonna be reimbursed?
all of it.
Well, how much?
Like 57,000. The grant part, I paid $27,000 to Troyer, I think, last year. That will come out of part of that matching grant. Since it came straight out of our budget. The gate's been locked. I'm working on the leases right now. I sent it to all of you. We went with a whole new lease. I drew up a whole new lease, sent it to the attorney.
And you're calling it a different name now. So
It's
that-
now called a seasonal camping permit. We decided that the lease sounds more like residency. And they're kind of taking it as residency, so like a mobile home park or a modular home park. So it is now called a seasonal camping permit. I've been working on those all week. Addressing them, I will have those out this week. It's highlighted in there that they have until March 1st to let us know if they are coming back. Or not, so that we can get those spaces rented out. Which we still have the 33-person waiting list, so I'm going to call all of those people on that list to make sure. They're still even interested, just tell them we're updating our files and just wanna, because there could be some that. Passed away, got sick, moved on, sold their camper, you don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't have a whole lot more. Just doing office stuff now, getting caught up, a lot new, like I said, updating a lot of the stuff. Changing files out and stuff, new stuff for 24, new lists and all that stuff, just doing office. I had a call yesterday. Somebody already wants to book for festival weekend for 4 days at the campground. So I told him, give me a couple days to get my charts out and everything on that. So, and I'm gonna go ahead and start doing it. I mean, he's gonna secure it with a credit card and there's no reason not to. I had another one call a week or so ago. He wanted just one night and I said, when? And he said, January 10th. Well. I said, no, I don't think you're gonna wanna stay here January 10th.
Festivals would be at the beach.
That's kind of up in the air, because we made the festival at the beach last year. We had to put a lot of time and effort. I had to pay all my employees and they did give us a $300 check. But we would have brought in like $1,000 at the gate that weekend at least. We decided at a meeting in the past, I'll have to look for those minutes, that we would charge them some sort of fee with a contract because it's not a county festival, it is the Bass Lake Festival. If it was a county festival, it'd be a little different, but I don't think that I should have to pay.
We're not the biggest benefactors of it.
Or I should have to pay 4 or 5 of my employees. We were there Friday night, Saturday morning at 6 a.m. till 8 o'clock at night. There was really nobody there from the festival.
Well, it's a totally independent group. It's not even us.
Right. I know that. So Mary did talk to me the other day, or she texted me. So I do have to get back with her. I have not told her this yet.
No, I don't know.
But I will get the minutes and we'll take that and I will get a little contract of some sort drawn up because, I just don't feel that it's right that, yes, I would be there to oversee it and make sure everything was going, and everything was being done legal and blah, blah, blah. But I shouldn't, we had to empty all the garbages. We had to do everything.
You had to set up.
We had to set up the food vendors, it was.
If they want to have it, they just need to pay.
Correct. Pay what we would lose in that weekend, which was
So
lots.
make up the difference.
Yeah.
Basically.
Right.
If
Well, I think it's also, if it's written up, it's better to know on both sides what's expected, right? So what.
Sure. Yeah, so the last
county
minute.
park, what work the parks are gonna do and what the
Right.
festival is gonna provide. Right, as far as help and things like that.
Okay. All right, moving on. Approval of claims and paying routine bills is,
And that's back to, I'll have that, hopefully they'll have all the books straightened out and ready to go for next time, so, but haven't spent any money other than what little utilities are there.
is there a motion to approve the claims paying routine bills? I'm sure.
I would make a motion to approve the claims of utilities and salaries.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we're down to reorganization of the board. We just need a president and a vice president. I sent you guys emails.
And I said that.
I'll make a motion that we keep our officers that we've got.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Very good. Any other business to come before the board?
Yes,
Yes.
peers. Who's gonna put our peers in this year? Do we know?
Well, I drew up a contract for that and we decided at one of the previous meetings that we were. Gonna get the bids and then they also had to be licensed and bonded, so. That has not been out yet.
I think we should try and have ours be the first ones on the lake.
Well, that was the intention last year.
Yeah, but now we know we got our ducks in a row now.
Yes, we do.
So
Because
need to
last
get
year
after 'em and get 'em in.
Steve wanted to start May 1st on ours, but we
nice
got,
if it was done in April.
well, we got held back with that.
Yeah.
permit
Yeah, and I
deal,
think,
so.
I think it would also help to kind of coordinate with maybe even some of the other ones on the lake so that. The people who are putting the boats in, like Larry's and the marina and that kind of thing, they're not all doing it at the same time, because we put them in at the same time, that's what they're gonna.
And I
get
really
rushed.
don't, I do
So.
not think that Les is insured and bonded, so that only
I
leaves Steve, so.
think that's a bad guess there. I think.
Yeah.
But I don't have a problem putting them in early.
So
Yeah.
more than likely it'll be Steve. He took
I
them out,
would
we
think Steve would
numbered,
do
we
the
numbered
better
it.
job.
We numbered everything. It's in order how he took it out. I was there with them and it's all.
I'd give him
coordinated
a heads up
between
now
two.
and just tell him, put us first on his schedule.
Yep.
Well, and then once we do know a schedule,
That's gonna be a moneymaker.
once we do know a schedule, then myself and the harbor master can get together, so we have an idea when we tell them to be able to accept.
So we can give them a
boats,
date.
right, for boats to come in.
And have they started working on the lease yet for the piers?
Yes, it's done.
It's done, okay. And when will those? Oh, I don't know. When do they send them out?
Well, probably March 1st to April. I don't know. I mean, the piers aren't guaranteed to be until Memorial Day, but
But you have to sign the slots.
correct,
So the piers aren't guaranteed to be in before Memorial Day.
not
No,
guaranteed,
but if
but
they're in earlier, we
We
let
can
them
start
in
renting.
earlier.
I don't see a problem with
Okay.
that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, what if we have a contract and we know the dates that they're scheduled to have them put in, depending on
And
weather.
we can give some leeway.
We can
to
give
that
some
schedule.
idea, right, and then we can know when. to give
I
a
just
meeting
think
date.
It could
that
be
like,
okay for
you
them.
guys need to be a little more firm on. Well, I want this and I want that, and we want this, and not everybody, there's 90 slips or 80,
Everybody
whatever.
can't handle water.
Everybody can't have what,
Have
you
an
know,
outside slip,
You guys can figure that out.
yeah, I
right,
know,
I know, that's why I said we can meet ahead of time, so.
Okay.
except Rick, he gets his spot.
I want to say one thing, and I don't know who was at this meeting and that, I really don't like talking unless somebody's here. But if you remember, Les stood up and he said how great that pier was that Shelley was selling you guys. Oh, underneath it and everything else, and it's the biggest piece of junk I ever saw, and I got pictures of it.
Well, it's all in the landfill
That's
now.
all fact.
Yeah, well, and I agree 100% with the redwood stuff, but you also have to understand that most of the cost that we looked at was for the infrastructure, the hardware, and that was a good
Well,
price,
that's fine. If it's
even
got
without the
hardware
wood.
and all
You
that,
know,
okay.
you'd have paid more for that hardware than you would, you know.
Well,
I-
you
we
saw
think we
when
got
they
a good
put
price
that
on
pier up, it was like this.
Oh, yeah.
The redwood,
I walked on
Okay.
it.
So
And
they're,
the rails were up like this, but that was a great pier.
I got in the water and walked, because I wasn't
Okay.
walking
Let
on
me
it.
tell you one thing, that pier was like that when it was at Shelley's for years.
yeah.
you just couldn't notice it because it's wasn't as far out.
And he still hasn't fixed those curbs yet either.
I got a question for you. We discussed it last year. Have you discussed it with Les at all? On making a new pier for the south end? The main pier you were talking about,
No, we used that one that was donated, the walkway.
the walkway, but we were talking about replacing the other one, the cross one, fingers attached to.
I think we got it all straightened out.
Okay.
We went through everything that we had extra and stuff. So I think
So
we got
Steve
it.
knows that.
Yes,
He was there when it came, he was the one who took it out.
correct.
Yeah, he said it. He said
Yeah,
Steve.
there might be a few that we have to still repair, and I have all those boards in the beach house, but. Few little boards, but I think we went through a lot, and stuff that was junk, I just burned because it was junk. It was just.
Yeah,
not
it's
even
better
worth-
than trying to make pieces out of it.
Yes, if we have to buy some new boards, we have to buy
Oh,
some,
we
you
need
know,
a lot of them. Well, how many did we get last?
yeah. And I put all of that in the beach house, so it's all in there, what
I
we
mean,
have
because now
left,
we have to
so.
start the regeneration.
And
So
once the
much
weather
every year-
straightens out, we can look at it too, you know, and
Every year we do a little bit,
see what we need.
get rid of the worst. And
And in the next couple of years, when we make millions of dollars, we'll get aluminum, forget it.
Yeah.
Did you find a lucky lotto ticket?
No, but I'm looking to the future.
There you go. Be optimistic.
All right.
I know, we didn't have cameras.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Wait a minute, one more question.
I'm here for, my goats, and my name was supposed to be on the list.
You're here for what?
I had my goats, I had to get my goats up.
I think he's in the wrong meeting.
I'm here, they put me on the list for tonight, told me to be here.
That will probably be the commissioner.
The park board
Next
meeting?
month,
Not park board.
That's next month.
9:30 in the morning.
They told me to come here tonight.
We don't see.
We don't do goats.
We don't have anything to do with goats.
I thought Tracy was starting.
Well,
something new.
no, they got,
Hey,
I had to give them up because my neighbor turned me in because I only had 3 goats and I had 1 acre of ground.
Okay, well, this
That's
is
not
not park
park
board. We don't have any.
So I got lied to again.
I don't know about that, but you're definitely at the wrong meeting.
Yeah, you
No.
went the wrong.
Like to, I've already been through 3 things I had to follow, 3 complaints upstairs already. All right, thank you guys.
Sorry.
No, you're welcome. Sorry, we
So-
couldn't help.
Well, now you know about the park board.
The building, yeah, that's right. You know, I might take you up on that. You guys need to hire some goats, man.
I mean, I don't need a lawnmower.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Crazy, no?
All in favor?
Remember?
We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
Somebody was gonna.
Yeah.